There are several different types of metal buildings, including Versatube or tube steel, light gauge buildings, Quonset Hut, cold form metal buildings, Weld-Ups. The last one would be pre-engineered metal buildings. So a tube steel building or a Versatube building, they are made out of 2-inch tubing, 2 1/4-inch tubing, and usually it's a light gauge metal. They make a lot of carport buildings. They're very economical. They're usually made with a lighter gauge metal. Typically are not wind rated or have any kind of structural guarantee with them. They're usually put up in a day or less. And there are a lot of different vendors out there that sell the tube style buildings. So another metal building type would be a Quonset Hut. You don't see them very often, but from time to time you will see them, but they have a round roof. And I have seen them used in some agricultural applications. The next type of metal building that you'll see is a cold form building. They're also made out of light gauge material. They're called cold form buildings because they aren't made out of I-beams or built-up beams. They're made out of sheet metal that's formed cold. So it's cold formed buildings. Looking from outside in, you wouldn't really know the difference. It's really the type of frame that makes the building. So the cold form speaks to the type of frame that it has, where it'll look the same on the outside, but it'll be a light gauge framing on the inside. So there are a lot of folks out there are building metal buildings, and a lot of them are going to be Weld-Ups. So these are the guys that are going down to the local steel yard and purchasing their parts, their columns, purlin, sheet metal, trim, all that. And then they're fabricating the building out in the field and doing all the welding and cutting and all that in the field. So a weld-up building is going to take longer to construct than a pre-engineered metal building. Also, you've got on-site cutting and welding, fabrication. So when done correctly, a weld-up building can be just as strong or reliable as a pre-engineered metal building. They can be the same thing. It's really just the different types of the connections that are different. The problem that you see with a lot of weld-up buildings is that the people or the companies constructing them don't really know if they're using the right size material for the span of the building. Our favorite type of metal building is a pre-engineered metal building. These are also known as rigid frame buildings or clear span buildings. The primary frames are made up of either hot rolled I-beams or built-up beams, which is beams made out of plate steel. So those beams are welded or fabricated in the shop. We're able to span large open spaces with this type of building without the need for interior supports. This is by far the strongest type of metal building and also the quickest to erect. This is Ryan, and if you've got any questions about metal buildings, please give us a call.